So this is when you enter. These are the, let's say, the first impressions that you have, and you see there is this mix of things that are traditional Chinese furniture with things that come from other origins. This is
mirror you bought from here?
No, this is part of the what was already here.
Before you came to China.
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah. This also, and this is probably the most typical example of what we just said, which is a piece of furniture which by design is a traditional European one. The way is the design, you can find this type of commode in all over Europe at the time. The different thing is that it's painted, and it's painted with Chinese motifs. So you have simultaneously the decoration and the painted furniture on a very Western type of.
I think this one is a mix.
Yes, it's typically.
You can find some Chinese.
I would say that this was probably done by a Portuguese ebonist, but then the Chinese artist was the one who was doing the decoration.
Cool.
Here is also a typical example of Portuguese classical Western European wooden commode with a stone top. And then, of course, you have this mix where you see different objects that some are European, some are Chinese.
So which pieces did you take from Portugal?
Well, for instance, when you see a splash of red color, it's normally it's something that I brought with me. So the rugs, these pillows. The idea was to have a little bit more lively color. This painting of a zebra is also mine. I brought it with me.
What's the meaning of this oil painting?
Well, because of my background too, I like natural history, I like sciences, and I think in the same way that a portrait of a person is different from a photography, that applies to animals too. So you could have a nice photo in the magazine of wildlife, but you could not convey what a zebra is. With
this one is more.
It's something different. Yeah. And here, it's again you have you play with the marriage between Chinese elements of decoration and European ones. These two commodes are actually very good quality. They could be in a museum in Portugal, and this is also, let's say, playing with the idea of having simultaneously an abstract modern art painting with what was the top of a bed in the 18th century. It's not to be boring. It's to do something a little bit different. And
well, I found some.
I've started to do my little. I had this very colorful hat, which is Venetian, from a carnival in Venice, with my very dear red color in it too. And then I realized that here in China there are lots of possible interesting hats to collect. So
some of them you bought from
yeah,
here.
it's part of my very regular visits to Panju Yuan market. This was painted by a friend when I was in Bangkok, my previous post, and it has a little bit of the aesthetics of cartoons, if you want, the type of technique, but at the same time. Of course, it has a young Asian-looking girl in a uniform, but in a uniform in a color.
It's red, your favorite
red,
color.
that never existed in real life because there were no soldiers with red uniforms in Asia. So, to show that this is a work of imagination of the artist, de Voltaire, and because it's a big work. It kind of carries by itself what is in fact a very large wall.
Very stunning.
This is the piano that was offered by the governor of Macau in a couple of decades ago. It's a very good piano. Probably we would not been able to have it without that generous gift, piano of this quality, and that my wife plays, but nowadays it's more for my children to. This I brought with me, my dear friend Giorgio Casanova.
What's her name?
Casanova.
Casanova.
It's a famous figure in European history who had a very adventurous life. And he was a bit of a diplomat himself.
Okay.
Now I'm going to show you, let's say, a private room this way.
This way. Wow.
So this is where I have put together the things that have to do with the fact that I was once a scientist. So my microscopes, my curiosity for different animals. There is almost nothing Portuguese here. So normally this room is closed because it's like my my private. And I have a couple of things that I particularly like. For instance, it's not easy to have a penguin. What has been good since I'm in China is that I have found the possibility of having these display boxes, and they look better now. They look happier now that they don't have the dust.
Now I'm sure. This is your hobby, not reading.
Yeah, in a way, you're right. This painting, I bought it in Armenia, not in Armenia, from an Armenian painter. And you can see, of course, that this is my favorite red. There is a little, not say joke, but I like to, when I show this painting to people, to ask, could they locate the cat in the painting? Can you see where the cat is?
Where is the cat? Let me... Here? No. Here?
Yes. There is a cat on the window. Because this artist have painted many streets, houses, and there is always a cat. It's kind of his signature. I like it because the idea was mine. Yes,
same.
They are all the same.
Oh.
And the idea was to arrange them in this way. This repetition was like when you had with photography in the beginning of last century, you had the description of movement by These are my three boys.
Yeah.
These guys as a kind of explorers of the Nile, you know. In this room I have some examples of some moments of my life as a diplomat, President of Vietnam, the King of Cambodia, the President of Laos, the President of Palestine. This is when I met with Vladimir Putin, Aung San Suu Kyi, Yasser Arafat. Because this is normally a place that people don't visit. This is where I put most of the Chinese flavor things. Again, this abundance of lanterns, lamps with colors that are probably not the traditional. And this is the Chinese part.
Oh, Chinese part.
Yeah, both fiction and non-fiction. I was trying to find
that one, that book.
The book, yeah. There it is. Big breasts and wide hips. I have an area with my books about Russia, because I have also a very big section about Russia. And what else can I show you?
Pillows. I found the pillows are very special.
This I got them in Shanghai. And here you see this is all copies, fake reproductions of this famous painting, contemporary painting of scenes in the Forbidden City.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you. It's Jiang Guofang. He did all these paintings about the Forbidden City, and they were very popular. So I think I've shown you most of, let's say, the showable places in this house.
Do I need to pay?